point. Fast start, focus for the full 80 minutes, and D as well.
OK, Ryan, Stephen, thank you very much indeed. Ulster have only lost once in Belfast this season. Let's see if they can maintain that impressive record tonight in the company of Tony McWhirter and Jim Neely.
Well, after a pretty cold, dry week, we woke up this morning and there was rain everywhere, but mid-afternoon it's cleared, and although the pitch is a wee bit on the damp side, conditions for rugby are pretty decent. Treviso, well, playing against Ulster for the 16th time in all competitions. They've only ever won once. Back into the second row, the veteran second row, Antonio Pavanello, alongside fellow Italian international Cornel Van Zyl. And watch out for Dean Budd, who scored a hat-trick against Ulster a couple of seasons ago. A lot of changes in the back division. Sam Christie moving to inside centre. A lot of pace in the wing, though, in the shape of Ludo Natalia and Angelo Esposito. Looking very trim and focused, and leading Ulster out for the 5th time this season is Roger Wilson, but he's left the leading out to this man here, still short of his 24th birthday, and this is 100th appearance. Craig Gilroy, former pupil of Methodist College Belfast, and the man who had the distinction of scoring the opening try in the brand new all singing, all dancing Lansdowne Road down in Dublin, where he probably wishes he was playing tomorrow, but he'd have plenty more opportunity to extend his distinguished international career. 6 caps thus far, and I'm quite sure some more to come. So Roger Wilson takes over the Ulster captaincy. Nick Williams back in the middle of the back row, having missed the last 7 games. Lewis Stevenson deputises for Alan O'Connor, and Rob Herring deputises for Rory Best, who's on international duty with Ireland in Dublin tomorrow. Not much in the way of changes behind from the demolition of the Leicester Tigers. Louis Lulick comes back to full back. Michael Allen is on the wing. Elsewhere it's the same. Marshall and Cave in the centre, and Pienaar and Humphreys at half-back. Pretty decent crowd here, not quite capacity, something in the region I suspect of around 16,000, which a few years ago for a visit of an Italian side would have been unheard of. The referee is doing his 26th competitive Pro 12 game, and he's from Wales, and he's from Ian Davis.
Roger, okay?
Just asking Roger Wilson, are Ulster ready to receive? And it's going to be Joe Carlisle, born in Swindon 27 years ago, formerly of Worcester, and the Wasps gets it underway. And pretty appropriately, as Craig Gilroy touches the ball first for Ulster on this, the occasion of his 100th appearance. That's a pretty good looking strike. Ian Humphreys covers back, calls for the fair catch and gets it. He had loads and loads of time there, and time for first thoughts from Tony McWhirter. Looking, Tony, just at the fixtures, Ulster have this one plus another 5 against teams below them, so it's 6 games in a row Ulster really must be winning.
Very much so, Jim, and good points made by both the gentlemen. And beforehand, Ulster must look at this tonight as a non-negotiable win. 4 points essential, build the innings, and then look for that bonus point later on, and really there should be no excuses. Beautiful underfoot conditions, superb conditions overhead. It's all set up for a good open game of rugby.
Well, both sides minus gentlemen on Six Nations duty, and both hampered by injury as well, so by no means at full strength. First line out taken in by Pavanello, 23 times cap for Italy, and he's capped them on a couple of occasions. Vian Herbst, number 3 in the white for Ulster, doing a little bit of a holding there, but the ball is nicely tucked in at the back, and Matt Laumano, born in Wellington, takes it forward. This is a good piece of work, and Ulster have conceded the penalty. Referee waiting for advantage. If they kick this, the advantage will be over. Well, that's not a bad kick at all, and well gathered in by Angelo Esposito, who's tackled. Referee, I think, has decided that advantage is over. No, he hasn't. He's going to bring them back for the penalty.
2 coming around the side.
Rob Herring coming round the side, according to referee Ian Davis. So not the start Ulster would have wanted, conceding an early penalty.
Some great, lovely control by Treviso in that instance, winning the line out, taking their time, setting, resetting, using their feet, dropping the body height, getting the squeeze on. And we see from the camera angle here, rolling it round the side, and I think it's Michael McComish that drops it and pulls it down. It's a pretty clear-cut penalty for the referee.
Well, they've decided not to go for the post, and they've gone for the territory, and that's not a bad kick.
On the line, White.
Not a breath of wind here this evening at Ravenhill. The Italians just taking their time, not in any particular. It was David Gazzon, the 29-year-old, who's won 20 international caps. So in the middle of a pretty decent-looking front row, but can he get his throw right and can Ulster challenge? That was well taken in by another veteran, Cornel van Zyl, the oldest man in the park at 36. Matt Laumano takes it on. This is dangerous stuff now from Treviso. Christie pops it up to Enrico Bachin. Ulster will have to defend the way they did against the Leicester Tigers if they're going to keep this side out. And that's a good piece of defence by Ulster, just as we said it. And they've got to put into the first scrum. Good work by Rob Herring, who I did think gave away the initial penalty, and he's more than made up for it.
Yeah, the choke tackle sort of been epitomised by Chris Henry over the last 2 or 3 years, and it's his good buddy Craig Gilroy that's in on the choke as well there. Great upper body strength. Callum Black then holding up the rest of it, and the referee giving the turnover. But you can see just effective how Treviso are going to be tonight, Jim, in terms of their line-out play. Their strength is very much up front. They're a big set of forwards, and they're here to take Ulster on up front.
Seconds.
Well, it's ever great to see a lot of youngsters here on this dear old ground, or dear new ground, call it what you will. First scrum, and a fairly hefty visiting forward pack. 18 stones a man average. That is simply enormous. Ulster not too shabby at 17-6. That's a good Ulster scrum. Good work by Callum Black. Here goes Pienaar, looking to stretch the legs, and he's got away from the first tackle. Ludic ran into a couple of defenders, needs to make it available. Somebody was upended there, and the Italians have stolen that, so bad work at the breakdown by Ulster, and they've got to come back and defend. Well, Treviso looking for a second win here at Ravenhill. That's clever work by Joe Carlisle, and Mike Allen's going to have to be quick, and he is, and he's down, and he's up. And as he made it available, that's a great piece of defensive play by Michael Allen. If Ulster can squeeze this back, they should be able to clear it. Referee seems to have the hand out in favour of Treviso, or perhaps he's just indicating that he wants the Treviso backs in the right position. Pienaar kicks and finds a pretty decent touch. Well, that's a couple of mistakes Ulster have made, and they've given possession away rather cheaply.
I just watched the,
lovely turnover by Alberto Lucchesi, the Treviso scrum half, and we come across him with the wiper kick. It's Michael Allen who does well, but again, Jim, great open play by Michael McComish there. 2 or 3 close backs get in and help out. We see the turnover here. It's Ludic goes to ground. Treviso commit men, and it's the bearded Lucchesi. Steps in quite legitimately, picks the ball up, and then opens it up quite quickly.
Gia's on the throw. Well taken to the back, taken in by Cornel van Zyl. One of 8 members of the starting Treviso 15, not born in Italy. Some of them qualified by residence, like Van Zyl, a South African by birth. Giazon into Lewis Stevenson. Allen was in there as well. Here's Carlisle. Good work once again by Bachin. Lucchesi gets it away. Misses out Pavanello. Little chip through. Oh, well gathered in by Rowan Pienaar, whom I thought maybe was going to be a little bit slow and delaying, but he got it absolutely right. That was knocked backwards, says the referee. And here goes another experienced man, Ludo Natalia, now 31 years of age. And Ulster giving away yet another penalty for side entry. And this time it was Ian Humphreys. That's what, 2, 3 penalties so far?
It's 2 at least, and certainly that's something off the back of the last match against the Tigers, where Ulster's defence was second to none, outstanding to a man. And in this form of the game, you just have to learn to trust your defence, get there, set up the ruck. You don't have to put too many men in, realign and work from there. And cheap penalties at this rate will cost you points.
Well, Joe Carlisle, who had a spell with Worcester and then quite a spell with Wasps,
Watch your hands on the ball.
playing in his 8th league game for his new club Benetton Treviso, was put in a very good kick. Ulster, I don't think, have been outside their own net 10-metre area since this game started. We played nearly 7 minutes. No score, though. All the pressure coming from the men in green and white. Van Zyl at the front. Good work by Laumanu.
Not held.
Also looking for the turnover, which they haven't quite effective. Lucchesi up to loose head prop Zanuso. Lucchesi again. There's the big tight head Rupert Harden, born in Australia. Carlisle Knocked
Advantage
forward.
right, knock on.
Referee playing advantage to Ulster. Away comes Gilroy. Referee still playing advantage.
Advantage over.
Pinar, advantage is over. Inside is 22. What a great kick that is by Pinar. I was talking to him during the week and he's still having a wee bit of a niggle with that right foot of his. But I tell you, Tony, you wouldn't know.
No, you wouldn't, and it's, you know, it's great conditions, Jim. The pitch is firm, considering how much rain there's been earlier on during the day. With the weather over the last 2 weeks, it's been great. But again, also just slow off the gain line inside 10. They're conceding that advantage line, and whenever you're letting 18 stone plus individuals run at you one-on-one, first of all, they're hard to put down, but secondly, if you're sitting on your heels and waiting for them, it's doubly hard.
Ulster still inside their own half. Back quickly on the Italian side. Carlisle. Little flat pass that looked forward. The crowd certainly thought so. Carlisle again. Ulster up quickly. Good tackle. Nicely away to Esposito. Chip and chase. Pinar covers again and let it go, and it was kicked into touch by Treviso. We've got a man injured.
Play on.
Referee not having any of this thing. You're just going to have to play on. I think the man injured is Esposito. Neil Doken to his left. Johnny Bell, who since we were last here has announced that he's going off to join his European Cup winning captain David Humphreys at Gloucester. Good take by Roger Wilson. Nearly 10 minutes gone and Ulster still penned inside their own half.
Taken in by White.
And they've given it away. Well, the same bite that we saw against the Tigers, Tony, is not here so far.
No, it's a bit dull, and that's great play by Cornel Van Zyl. First of all, competing with Roger Wilson at the back, then letting him go to ground, and then affecting the sack as well. Managing to never see him scrapping with the ball on the ground, and once it's gone down there, the ball's not coming back. The referees declared that Treviso have the impetus to going forward, and he's happy to give them the put in. But Treviso look very organised. They're slow and methodical in terms of what they're trying to do, but they're here with a very simple game plan, and so far they're affecting it very well.
And Pinar having a word with Ian Humphreys, who's outside, and just in case Ulster can turn this one over. They're conceding over half a stone a man, though, to this huge Treviso pack. Nothing much to enthuse about for the Ulster crowd so far. I'm sure all that will change. Turned out to be a pretty nice evening here.
Crouch.
Alberto Lucchesi.
Bind. Set.
Good scrum position there by Callum Black. Ulster's loose head. Can he get the squeeze on? He's gone down on one knee now. Is that going to be construed as illegal? Treviso holding the ball. Lucchesi has a wee glance to see what's available. There's nobody on that near side, so he's going to have to move it to the other side of the field, his left. Referee will tell them to use it. Up they pop. And Lomano gets away, but Roger Wilson puts him to ground. That seemed to be knocked forward by Treviso. And the referee spotted that. And it is going to be an Ulster scrum. So good work there by Ulster eventually. It took a long time to get the ball out.
Yeah, it was a real test of strength, wasn't it? But again, Roger Wilson with Ulster getting out loose head, the left-hand side of the scrum getting nudged up, putting Roger in the box seat to make the tackle. He affects it brilliantly. Followed up then by Nick Williams, and the ball spills out the side. But scrum looks as if it's going to be real edge-to-edge stuff, nip and tuck the whole night. Treviso are here really to try and out-muscle Ulster, and Ulster are going to have to stand firm.
Both teams fairly well changed since the last time they met at the start of January over in Treviso. Ulster fielding only 7 of the 15 that started that day. Benetton Treviso fielding 8 of the side, but they've got the same front row exactly. Callum Black on Ulster's loosehead side has represented Ireland at under 16, under 18, under 19 and at emerging Ireland level. That's a good solid Ulster scrummage. Nick Williams back at number 8, the heaviest man in the Ulster pack. Leaves it for Pinar. Whoa. Well taken by Marshall. That come off the outside of the boot. This could be interesting if it bounces for Gilroy, and it hasn't.
I'm not quite sure what the plan was there from Ulster. Obviously the pass from Pienaar to Humphreys goes amiss, and the exit strategy which they used in Treviso a month ago, Jim, was very much on a wide plane, using the full width of the pitch. We saw it 2 or 3 times from inside their own 22, and it caused Treviso lots of problems as well, and it looks as if they're going to try and employ that again, but more accuracy required in the pass from 9 to 10.
Well, 12 minutes gone. Ulster still have not been in opposition territory.
Drop one.
And it's a Treviso ball. Rob Herring has got a drop out of the line out. Well taken in eventually by Pavanello. First one hand and then two by the big Philip. Third year as captain of this side. Lewis Stevens is doing a fair bit of grappling there. Needs a little bit of help. Laumano takes it down, but legally so. Lucchese needs a runner. That's good defence by Ulster. They didn't get across the gain line. Christie will have to kick. Straight into touch, and that's good pressure by Ulster, forcing him to make a real mistake.
It is good pressure and great pressure by Lewis Stevenson. He fancies himself as a bit of an enforcer, and certainly going toe-to-toe with Pavanello, ripping him out of that maul and dusting him down on the ground, and Ulster out of the blocks much quickly. Darren Cave very noticeable at 13, leading that defence up hard. Carlisle's basically kicked everything he's had so far tonight, Jim.
Well, Ulster not quite on halfway, but pretty close to it. Herring with the throw. Stevenson, Pienaar. Luke Marshall gets across the halfway line. Pienaar away quickly. Williams, lovely stuff. Mike McComish, who had 2 terrific performances in the European Champions Cup. Humphreys, that's nicely done. Well gathered by Cave. Michael Allen, was he impeded without the ball? The crowd seemed to think so, but the referee doesn't. And that's a lovely piece of play by Ulster. And having waited nearly 14 minutes, they've suddenly sparked into life.
There you see the difference, Jim, in the two teams. Treviso quite very mechanical in terms of what they try to do, catching and driving line-outs. Ulster on this occasion, nice midfield position off the top ball with a simple pattern. Humphrey spots the playing behind. You almost would have fancied Darren Cave to pin his ears back and have a go himself there.
Well, I'm sure he's not basking in the glory of his hat-trick against the Tigers. That's gone loose. This could be interesting. Can Ulster turn this one over? Nick Williams working hard on the ground, but the opposition have won the ball. It's untidy. Williams in the middle making a real pest of himself.
No, it's not a maul. The ball is there.
You heard the referee saying it's not a maul. Roger Wilson doesn't want to get himself offside. Hello.
Leave it, you pair.
A little bit of a contretemps there. It was opposite number Meyer Swanepoel.
7. Let's not get involved in things off the ball. Okay? At the last line, coming on. Let's go.
Well, much more productive last couple of minutes for this Ulster side. Now they need to put the squeeze on this Treviso scrum and try to force a 5-metre scrum of their own, perhaps.
Green, please. Thank you.
Remember, conceding about £8 a man, which is considerable, but it's all about technique. No Rory Best, remember, no Alan O'Connor or Dan Toohey, Henderson or Henry.
Crouch! Bind!
Rupert Harden, born in Melbourne nearly 30 years ago on the tight head side for Treviso. Good solid scrummaging position by Callum Black, but Treviso have dug in using that extra man. The pitch is feeling all that pressure. They're going to have to play this. The referee will tell them to hurry up. It's gone down on the Ulster loosehead side. Well, it's like a ploughed field out there. Yeah, you have to bring them in field. And I think certainly psychologically that wasn't a bad scrum for Ulster.
No, certainly not, but I think given the context of that, it would have, if the ref had given Treviso 2-3 more seconds, they could have cleared their line rather than blowing the whistle and resetting yet another scrum. And this is what we're trying to get away from in the game. We want to see the ball in play. What we don't want to see are 10, 15, 20-second scrums, which goes down eventually and having to be reset. We're looking for pace and urgency. And yes, all right, the scrum's on the Treviso 5-metre line, but they look as if they'd be happy to scrum all evening.
Ian Humphreys just indicating to his two centres, Luke Marsh and Darren Cave, to be aware of the chance that Treviso might want to run it from here. Somehow I doubt it, because Joe Carlisle is directly behind this scrum. Treviso digging in. Well, a very clean scrummage. It's all about a contest of strength and technique. Well, the ball is there, and Treviso can't hook the ball, and they've got the penalty, Ulster. It was a great piece of scrummaging by Ulster, and the forwards between them have done a terrific job. Huge pressure from the Ulster front row, preventing the Treviso hooker, David Gayazon, from hooking the ball. It stood there, and he probably knew if he raised his foot, he was going to get driven off it. Ulster taking it quickly, but the referee says they'll have to come back.
No, absolutely, and that's very much the way that Ulster try and scrum. The focal point is the hooker, and you can see the pressure that's being pushed through the middle, going through Rob Herring on this occasion. And basically what that means is that Gayazon, the Treviso hooker, actually isn't able to even get his leg off the ground. A straight feed from once from a scrum half as well, so the ball sits in the middle of the tunnel, and then it comes down to a pushing match. And the referee, after 10-15 seconds, happy to give the penalty.
Ulster's outside half Ian Humphreys needs 9 points to reach 500, but the designated kicker so far this evening is Ruan Pienaar, who's not too far away himself. By my reckoning, he's got 456 in the league. It was a great kicking form against the Tigers 3 weeks ago. What a game that was. And this, after a shaky start territorially, will put Ulster into the lead. No mistake by Ruan Pienaar. So 18.5 minutes gone, and Ulster leading by 3 points to 0.
A slow start, Jim, from Ulster, but as you say, that 3 points, that gives them a foothold in the game. What we're looking for now, or what they're looking for, sorry. Clean possession, played a territory game, get back into the Treviso half where they're able to up the pace. Treviso again will be happy to get ball, kick ball, chase ball, and play all the rugby in the Ulster half if possible.
Joe Carlisle to start, the man who started at number 10 against Ulster a few weeks ago. Sam Christie looks to be struggling a wee bit. Set up by Gilroy. Pienaar, Wilson, Ulster's captain, dipped the shoulder, perfectly good technique. Pienaar again was outside his 22, and Humphreys has given that a huge wallop. Good covering back by his opposite number, Joe Carlisle, looking for a wee bit of space. Humphreys covers as Ludick inside him. That's a well-placed kick by Ian Humphreys for Ludick to chase, and Ludick has chased, and Ludick has gathered. Oh, they're offside there, surely. Humphreys. Now it's Marshall. Misses out Wilson. Here goes Cave with Gilroy outside him. Back inside to Gilroy. Well, it would be a fairy tale should he celebrate his 100th cap with a try. Pienaar, just to keep the lid on there, and very sensibly Jaden Hayward, whom we haven't mentioned so far, let the ball go, and it's going to be a Treviso line-out. That's much more like it from Ulster, but what a kick from Humphreys, and what a chase.
Great chase from Louis Ludick, and that's just classic Pienaar here, Jim, with the pass as well. We don't quite see it, but he sees the Treviso line and then basically screens a 30-yard pass off his left hand. Ulster move it wide, go down the far corner. It's virtuoso Gilroy spinning and stepping inside the pirouette. Pienaar then picks him again, plays the blind side with a beautiful grubber kick.
Well, the referee is ignoring the injured Treviso player. You could hear him say play on there. David Gayazon into a shortened line out. Also looking to pressurise. That's gone loose. Well, it was an opportunity there. That hasn't been a great contact. Now it's Gilroy. Ludick inside him. Ludick is deceptively strong. Pienaar. Rob Herring deceptively quick. Played at London Irish as a back row forward, remember. And somebody comes in from the side. Lewis Stevenson penalised, and a great chance for Ulster has gone a-begging. And Treviso back to 15 men, because Matt Laumanu, the New Zealander who's playing number 8 for them, seems to be fine again. That's silly penalty to give away.
Yeah, I would say probably two things there. First of all, the side injury, but secondly, quite clearly off his feet. And all right, yes, helping Ulster to win the ball cleanly. But again, whenever you do that in front of the referee and there's only 2 or 3 men in there, you're always going to give away the penalty, and Lewis Stevenson will be disappointed with that.
Well, Ulster had everything going for them. The opposition down to 14 men because of an injury, and they were in the right position, and a quick bit of possession might have paid dividends.
5, they've said. 6, I think.
Matteo Zanuso, only 21 years of age, gives instructions to his hooker. Mike McComish has dropped out. That's well taken in by Roger Wilson. Ball went backward, I think. Pienaar, ball in hand, first time for Nick Williams. The Ulster fans have missed him at Ravenhill. Pienaar knocked it forward, would you believe? Arguably the top scrum half in the Northern Hemisphere, certainly one of the top scrum halves, and he knocks it forward.
It's the sort of thing your coaching team pull their hair out over. You know, he's maybe not the cleanest of ball, but Ruan sort of picked it up and looked up at the same time, and the ball was drifted through his fingers. But realistically there, I think you could potentially ask for slightly cleaner ball and obviously slightly faster ball as well.
Yeah, David Irwin there, former captain of Ulster British Lion to New Zealand in 1983, played in 3 out of 4 tests. Softest part about him was probably his teeth, I think.
Crouch!
Well into the second quarter of this game, and only 3 points between them, so the expected to use an Americanism tri-fest has not yet come. It's another solid looking Treviso scrum on their own put in. Is it coming back in their side? Well, it's sitting there, and they're just easing forward a wee bit. Callum Black down on one knee and up again, and Ulster disrupted, and they get the penalty yet again. Treviso front row coming up under the pressure.
Massive pressure from Behan Herbst there, but again, Jim, it's all being channeled through Rob Herring. Treviso hooker unable to lift the leg to get the strike on, and simply once that pressure builds and builds, Treviso then having to try an inch to drive over the ball. Ulster quite happy to stand there, but eventually Herbst gets equal of his number. Zanuso causing him, as you heard the referee to say, to come out and then go back in, and then he collapses, and Ulster able to plough through the middle of it.
Well, he's more than made up for that little fumble, Rowan Pienaar, with a fantastic kick to touch, and he's put Ulster in a great position. Coming up to 25 minutes played, Ulster will be looking for a wee bit more before this interval. Had an email from an old friend one John Reid, who says how he's going to do it. I've no idea, being technologically useless, but he's going to be in Seattle, I think, watching this game tonight. Pienaar, Marshall ran straight into a lot of green and white shirts. Quicker ball. Pienaar back inside to Michael Allen. Good to see him getting a decent run of games. Pienaar, little delay on the ball. Wilson, oh, beautiful stuff by Wilson. Inside to his back row partner, Mike McComish.
He's the tackler.
Ulster still moving forward, the line within touching distance. Now it's Stevenson. Needs to get the ball available, and he's been stripped, and away they go. And Laumanu somehow took it away from Lewis Stevenson.
Knock on Green.
Knock on by Green, said the referee, and Ulster have retrieved the ball, so the advantage been played to Ulster. Pienaar. Darren Cave, good run by Cave. What a season he's having. Needs to release, he does release. Pienaar swings it wide to Humphreys. Now to Allen, Allen's away. Michael Allen is going to score. First try of the evening. Good finish by Michael Allen. His 6th league try on this, the occasion of his 41st Ulster appearance. That was coming, you felt.
It was counter-attack at his best, and big kudos to Roger Wilson, involved in 2 or 3 phases of that. Initially with the carry, an offload to McComish, and then upon the retrieval of the reset, it's Darren Cave again busting lines, which he does so well. His hold-up play though is brilliant, and it's Michael Allen, almost Craig Gilroy-esque, that step off the left foot, back and he comes, and really making his opposite number look quite silly.
Well, the two of them did play together for Methodist College in a couple of schools' cup finals. Michael Allen was man of the match twice, if I recall. Played outside centre in both those games, but equally happy on the left wing or the right wing. It's a little bit more like it from Ulster, and having had a dullish opening 15 or 16 minutes, they have really sprung to life. here's the man who's clever penalty kick into the corner, set up the field position. Solid contact, nicely struck by Ruan Pienaar. 27 minutes gone, and Ulster leading now by 10 points to 0.
Very noticeable from Ulster's play this evening in terms of their attacking strategy from ruck in particular. Rather than the pass going from 9 to the first runner, Pienaar's putting more width on it, getting to the second or third receiver, who's finding space, able either to go on himself, bump and go to ground, or effect an offload, and that gives Ulster an awful lot more width to their game.
Joe Carlisle straight to Gilroy. Well, there's the kick, and here comes the chase. He seemed to be half impeded. Oh, it's bounced. Oh, my word. That would have been the fairy tale complete had he been able to gather that. Still there for Ulster, though, but Treviso have got themselves back and may just have retrieved possession of the football. Well, the crowd, to a man, woman and child, on their feet, thinking that this was going to be the moment. That was a sensational piece of chasing. And away come Treviso, and that's nicely done. Going to be an Ulster line-out. Well, that was worth looking at again, Tony, wasn't it?
Absolutely, but Gilroy with that spin, fend, and away goes. Pace to burn, but it's a great kick, Jim, as he sees the man, and rather than going for the short chip, he goes for the long one, puts it over his head. He probably just couldn't believe the way the ball rotated and set up for him. I think he actually couldn't believe the ball was there for him, and the score would have been a fitting finale to that great bit of play from Craig Gilroy.
Well, it would have been Valentine's Day, Christmas Day, Easter Sunday, and Pancake Tuesday all wrapped up into one if he got that one. Callum Black has a word with Rob Herring. Well taken by Stevenson. Nick Williams at scrum half. What a good pass. Pienaar. Here's Cave. Well, he can do the subtle stuff and he can do the bludgeoning stuff. And here's the bludgeon. This is Vian Herbst getting better with every game. Starting to fill the boots of John Afoa. Ulster pressing yet again, looking for something more. Humphreys, nice angle run. Little dummy and just thrust into touch. Good covering tackle by Mayor Swanepoel, the 24-year-old South African. Nice angle run by Ian Humphreys. Good to see him with ball in hand.
He's dynamite with ball in hand, asking for someone to come on the switch on that occasion. We see the dummy the first instance, and then he's able just to be shackled into touch, but give him ball in hand from quick second phase, Jim. He's dynamite, absolute dynamite. But again, you saw the attacking play from Ulster in that last phase with the flat pass, missing Marshall to Cave again. So they're changing the point of attack. It's the variation, keeping the Treviso defence guessing. And Darren Cave once again crossing the gain line with some ease. Quick second phase off that. Big difference in terms of how the two teams are looking to play. It's Ulster looking to play with ball in hand, quick ruck ball with pace, and Treviso very much a more solemn in the way they're going around it, taking their time, scrum and line out, happy to kick and close the game down.
Antonio Pavanello, I think, doing the old soldier act, but he seems to be confined. Stolen by Ulster. Good work at the line out by Franco van der Merwe. Here's another Springbok. Rob Herring. Oh, he's done well to make that available. Wee bit of a probe by Pienaar. Lovely pass, and Stevenson couldn't quite hold. Big fella looking out in the wing. He's never scored a try for Ulster in any competitions. This is his 75th appearance today for his native province, and he would love to get across that whitewash. Pretty good effort. Pienaar delayed the pass nicely and knocked into touch. And you do have the option of the scrum if it's knocked into touch, or the line out, and they've gone for the line out. Back from Dean Budd. Matt Laumanu. Lucchese looking for somebody to take the ball. Oh, he's got himself swallowed up. This is good stuff by Ulster. Pienaar was the man who was doing most of the disrupting, and Ulster give away the penalty.
Also be disappointed in there again. It's another visit into the red zone, not 22 of the opposition, and realistically the coach is asking for points on every occasion. That's potentially the second time now tonight Ulster have come away without any points, and It's just having the patience once you're there, hold on to the ball, build the innings, go through the phases, and eventually something will come. Ulster have enough good strike runners out there that with time and effort, the gaps will appear.
A couple of good line-out steals by Ulster, the most recent one by Franco van der Merwe. Starting his 18th game of the season, Roger Wilson and Darren Cave have been the top performers in terms of match day starts. Okay, Ulster disrupt yet again. David Guillazon. Dean Budd takes it. Got a sensational hat-trick here a couple of years ago in this fixture. Ulster disrupting. Bit of the bite has gone out of the play of the opposition. Nudged forward by them. That's good pressure by Ulster as Callum Black came through and tried to strip the ball away from Alberto Lucchesi. Good work again by the Ulster loose head.
It is, yeah. Callum Black's been very effective at that, but we see the setup here from Treviso. Ball smuggled to the back. And Ulster happy to stand. Once it spins on, it's Franco van der Merwe this time, comes round, hits and drives, spins it round the corner. And then Lewis Stevenson attacks on the other side, and it's that grappling arm over the top that knocks the ball down, but Ulster defending that very effectively.
It's the second time Pavanello's been down, so maybe I was a little bit harsh in suggesting that he might be doing the old soldier, but he looks very trim actually. Looks like he's lost a fair old bit of weight, and seems to be a problem with his neck. And given that he has to be in the engine room of the Benetton Treviso pack, it's going to be tough for him. Oh, come on, it's not that bad. Ulster are winning. Cheer up a wee bit. Somebody will bring you a cup of hot cocoa. Poor wee fella. He shouldn't be sitting on wet grass.
Time back on, Alan, please.
Dear me, somebody bring him a cushion. Well, this first half has really galloped in. We've played over 32 minutes. 10 points between them. Ulster in the lead. Having survived a lot of early pressure by a seemingly fired up Treviso side. Nick Williams, remember, hasn't played for more than 8 weeks. He's missed 7 successive games because of a rather nasty leg injury.
Crouch! Bind!
Callum Black
Set.
needs one more cap for 80 Ulster appearances. Good Ulster scrum. Wilson is... Williams leaving it for Pinar. Marshall at outside half has a go himself, gets across that gain line.
Off your feet, 9!
Pinar there quickly. That looked a bit forward. Gilroy had come in off his wing and slipped into the tackle. Pinar just having a glance. Humphreys, Roger Wilson.
Away, we're at green! That's fine, nothing there!
Oh, Ulster didn't pick that up, and the referee said that was fine. Lucchesi, not for the first time, has stolen it. That hasn't gone to touch. Ball taken in by Louis Ludic. That's just about the right amount of hang on that. Well taken by Hayward.
5 stay.
Carlisle clears. Well covered back by Humphreys.
Come out.
Took his time and placed that. Here comes Gilroy. Well, it's gone loose. Ulster certainly competing for that chase ball. Lucchesi though gets it away, and Hayward gives it an almighty wallop. Humphreys with plenty of time, and that's a clever kick because he kept it low. And although it's going to be a Treviso line-out, they're back just about to halfway.
Just a lack of accuracy from Ulster at ruck time, not committing enough men, and Pinar looking for his out half, momentarily taking his eyes off the back. And again, it's Lucchesi in stealing the ball. Again, Treviso, very obvious in terms of what they're trying to do. Potentially there is room for Ulster to come back because their chase line's quite staggered. There's holes in it at different places, which is easy to see from our elevated position, Jim, but Ulster content to put the high ball up and chase, which they've been very effective at, but I think potentially ball in hand, there is space there if they look to try and move it through the hands.
Just more than 5 minutes remaining. Fairly even in terms of territory and possession. First 15 minutes or so dominated by Treviso. Since then it's been all Ulster, and they're the only side that's troubled the scoreboard. Lucchese. Laumano makes a bit of ground. Lucchese again. Pops it up to his skipper, Pavanello. Hayward. And well shepherded into touch by Louis Ludovic, making his 15th start of the season for his new province.
Yeah, you went off your feet, Dan. Okay.
Had a couple of games on the wing, but prefers the number 15 jersey. Got himself hurt last time out against Treviso. In fact, it was against Toulon. Toulon.
Broken rib, and
that's right.
He's not really showing too many signs of that this evening.
No. Tough, these rugby players. Great take by Franco van der Merwe, who's been really terrific at the line-out all season. Pienaar looking just to see what's available. That's a bit of a teaser. Is that knocked forward by Ulster? Not so, says the referee, but Treviso, I think, have snaffled it. Michael Allen's on the ground. No, he's won it back on the ground now, and he's done well. Great pass now. Here's Humphreys. There are men out wide. And Gilroy is really legging it, and what a very good kick by Ian Humphreys. I really was about to say he might have given that, but what a good kick with about 4 minutes remaining of this half.
Yeah, certainly that was the percentage, the option there, and again, deep screen pass from Pienaar. Humphreys has time to look up, and with Gilroy and Ludic outside, it maybe was on the move, but he assessed the situation, put it on his left foot and slid it into the corner. And again, Ulster now back in the Treviso red zone. They'll be looking for more points before half-time if possible.
He just dropped it onto his left foot, Ian Humphreys. Well, the good old brass band striking up the strain of Stand Up for the Ulsterman. Well won by Cornel van Zyl. It's a good drive by the Treviso pack. Laumano gets up to the 22. We're still inside the 22, so Lucchese can kick directly into touch. Craig Gilroy thought he was outside, but he was a long way away, so it's going to be an Ulster line-out. There's still time for Ulster to do something before the interval, and if they could get anything in the way of points by half-time, it would make that cushion look a bit more comfortable.
Absolutely, and whenever they've had line-out ball, they have tried to affect off the top ball and play a move in midfield, try and sweep and come round the corner. But again, what Ulster have done particularly well, Jamin on Treviso line-out, is they've been able to identify the ball at the back by clearing the men out in front, and the defence of that has been excellent.
Quicker ball by Ulster. Humphreys, Nick Williams, thunderous charge but well tackled. Pienaar, oh, nicely done, nice little pass inside to Louis Ludovic. Pienaar again misses out.
Advantage screen, not
Stevenson, and Ian Humphreys unbelievably spilled that forward. Referee playing advantage to Treviso. No advantage coming from it, and they'll have to come back. Well, knock on from Ian Humphreys. Before that, a knock on from Ryan Pienaar.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're almost seeming to be sort of midfield and then playing down the blind side of that occasion. And you'd almost think, with the amount of work that the Treviso tight five in particular have had to do in this first half, maybe going the same way. It's Williams that crashes it up on this occasion. It looks good, Jim, but the ball's not particularly fast. And again, Pienaar has to go digging. And on Humphreys on that occasion, perhaps running across the pitch rather than taking the ball hard and flat to the gain line. And that makes it easier to defend, also cutting down the space outside for his wider men.
Ian Humphreys fast approaching 100 caps himself. I think this is his 98th, maybe 99th tonight.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Alberto Lucchese for the opposition. That extra £8 a man hasn't really been effective. Ulster have stolen that. Pienaar, good chance this now. Here comes Luke Marshall. Back to Cave. Made a decent bit of ground. Humphreys again. Ludic. Well tackled by Bachin. Great take by Nick Williams. Pienaar in quickly now. Humphreys. Roger Wilson up to the 22. Pienaar switches it again. Callum Black rather on his own. Now it's Pienaar, Humphreys, Cave thought about the kick. Cleverly done by Darren Cave. So slowed down a little bit. Humphreys, Vian Herbst. Penalty would do Ulster here if they can even manage to conjure one up. We're almost into the 40 minutes gone. Humphreys, Mike McComish. Nicely done by McComish, kept possession well. Here's Rob Herring. Spiraled out of the first tackle. Pienaar, better stuff now by Ulster. Soft pass, Ludic with Cave. Had to step back inside because of the way he took the ball. His shoulder was exposed.
Side entry, full green.
Going to be a penalty for Ulster. The Italian skipper, or the Treviso skipper, has given away the penalty for a side entry. Humphreys, Herring, Wilson, away to McComish. Luke Marshall. Well, he's kept it alive somehow. Well done by Mike McComish yet again. Set up by Callum Black. Referee still playing advantage. Roger Wilson. Tackled by Dean Budd. Another penalty coming. Pienaar. Well, they've moved it wide. This is good stuff by Ulster. Into touch, but they will come back for the penalty. Not the first one, but the second one. Don't think there's time for the line out, so I think it'll have to be a kick at goal.
Yeah, I think it'll be the points at this stage, but fair play to Treviso there, Jim, in terms of standing up, making their tackles, hitting their rucks. Happy to give away the penalty as long as they don't concede the try. But secondly, from Ulster, they're going through the phases on that occasion, but again, holding on to the ball, keeping it, being patient, trying to work out the pass, work out where the misplay is going to be, try and find the big fat forward in midfield to put some of your fast men against.
No, 7.
On that occasion, didn't quite come off, but better with ball in hand, better continuity, better width in the game.
You wouldn't have liked it if somebody referred to you all those years ago as a big fat forward, would you?
I was as slow as the big fat forwards.
Well, after he's picked it up, you know, after he's passed it.
So Ruan Pienaar, who's kicked a penalty, and the conversion of the only try of the game so far, scored by Michael Allen of Ulster after 26 minutes. This chance to make the cushion that little bit plumper. Just the final act of the first half, which has seen Ulster come back from a poor start. Off the post, my word, and kicked into touch by Dean Budd, and that's half-time. Well, that was an unexpected miss by Ruan Pienaar, who will be cross with himself. There's the man who scored the try, Michael Allen, and a well-taken try it was. Good to see Michael Allen back on the scoreboard for Ulster. Well, a half of 2 halves. First quarter of the game, very much the preserve of the men from Treviso, and then Ulster managed to turn it round, and they've come back. And not a bad performance, but I think more from Ulster in the second half, Tony, required.
I think there's definitely more to come. I think as that half has progressed, Jim, there's been more shape, there's been better balance. I think if anything, they've probably been capable of going too lateral too quickly. Need a little bit more thrust in midfield, thrust with those back row runners, and the space will come. Certainly Treviso front 5 have had to work very hard in that first half.
Well, thank you, Tony. First score came after 18 minutes, a penalty by Ruan Pienaar, and 8 minutes later, try by Michael Allen, converted by Pienaar, who missed a penalty right on half-time, but Ulster leading after 40 minutes by 10 points to 0.
Well, not Ulster's most dynamic performance of the season, but the fans have watched a pretty effective performance in the first half for that 10-point lead. Stephen Ferris and Ryan Constable have been watching in the studio with me. Stephen, thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, well, I think just the last 4 or 5 minutes there just showed when you get the ball on a plate for Ruan and Ian Humphreys to get the show going, it makes a world of a difference. The first 35 minutes, Dean Budd and Luamanu were causing a lot of difficulty at the breakdown, and it was just really messy. We chatted about it, very, very scrappy. But look, a 10-point lead, scored 1 try. We think we should go out and get try and get the 4 tries. But it's a good start, and good to see them playing with a bit more width there in the last 5 minutes. Ryan, it took Ulster quite a long time to actually get their hands on the ball and get any good possession, didn't it?
Yeah, it was about possession at the start of the game, and Treviso handled it very well. They came out, were very physical at the breakdown. A couple of penalties went against Ulster. They didn't really have a chance to build themselves into the game. As we saw it develop, they started getting front football that Stephen spoke about, and then you had Ian Humphries taking the ball to the line, Luke Marshall, Darren Cave hitting lines off him, and that brought the outside players into the game more. And if Ulster can keep getting over that advantage line, generating quick ball, they've got the strike power out wide to benefit.
Now, Stephen, when you're playing in a game like that, is it all about patience and just trying to stay cool, stay calm, and you know you're going to be able to change things slowly but surely?
I think so. Look, we talked before the game about Ulster getting off to a good start. Ulster didn't touch the ball for the first 6 or 7 minutes of the match. As a player, that can be very, very frustrating. You know, Nick Williams, I think many carries as he had in that first half, 2 or 3 carries, you know, probably didn't get his first carry until 20 minutes into the match. That can be very, very frustrating, but you just got to be patient. You know, 10-0, it's something, as Tony said there in commentary, you know, their front 5 will be blowing, and you know, there'll be a lot of tired bodies in there. Hopefully in the second half we can exploit that.
Disappointing news for Ulster this week. Andrew Trimble out until the end of the season. Tommy Bowe on Six Nations duty. Michael Allen, nice to see him come in tonight and get a score.
Yeah, doesn't get a huge amount of opportunities, but an extremely talented young player, and you can see his finishing ability once Ulster start getting over that advantage line. Darren Cave again, he's in outstanding form this season. Doesn't throw the silly pass, goes to ground, recycles the ball, and then the vision, Ian Humphries takes it to the line, but this is the exceptional finish. 2 feet step, gets inside his man and finishes off. When you get opportunities like that and quality of possession against a defensive line that's still trying to find their alignment, you need to exploit those opportunities, and that was an outstanding individual finish.
And Stephen, when the big name players are missing, it's about the young players taking their chance, isn't it?
It is, and you know, Maggie done very well there, but you've got to give some credit to the guys who cleaned that ruck there and got the quick ball for Ruan to make that quick pass. You know, that sometimes goes unnoticed, and you look at a great individual try. Yes, fantastic step, but that was a great team try there. You know, lovely little line from Darren, fantastic clean out, quick ball on a play for Ruan, and the next thing it's a good try, and that's what we need more of in the second half.
Big night for Craig Gilroy, led the team out tonight on his 100th appearance. How do you think he performed first half, Ryan?
Oh, again, we've seen those glimpses of what he's capable of, and it's that one-on-one ability to create that space. He gets the ball, not a huge amount on Darren Cave. You see running those lines again, clever little flick pass, and there it is there. Just that ability to beat that first-up defender. And if Ulster can generate that quality of possession by beating the first up, you then dominate the contact, and once you dominate the contact, you're in great position. Outside break, speed to burn, the little kick, probably couldn't believe it. It sat up the way it did, and falling out of the shadows of the chasing man could have been a fairy tale finish for him.
Great feat, hasn't he, Stephen?
Yeah, exceptional feat, and that's one thing he's renowned for. You know, especially that pirouette. You think you've got him, the next thing he's gone. I think he'd probably be disappointed he didn't take that, because it was a fantastic break. Yeah, really good.
We called this next insert perfect Pinar just before the stroke of half time, just before the penalty came off the post. But bar that, it's been a pretty flawless performance. He really has kept the Ulster ball ticking over, hasn't he?
He just brings a huge amount of composure to a team and can implement those structures. Things not going well initially, but look at that cover defending role that he picks up there, and then doesn't shank it off the boot, puts a perfectly placed kick in and leads the chase up as well. It's that composure that he's able to bring. Head up, looking at assessing his options. He picks the box kick on this occasion, and his kicking has been exceptional tonight. The full range, box kicks, long range kicks, little grubbers through, and he just has the full skill set and the vision to implement the right option at the right time.
Now, you played a lot with him, Stephen, obviously. It's his vision, isn't it? And the time he seems to have on the ball.
He just reads the game so well, and one thing that probably goes unnoticed is how well he reads the game in defence, not just in attack. Sometimes you're getting away from the back of a line out, and he's just running diagonally across the pitch, hoping that, you know, there's going to be a break made, and that's what top class players do. They kind of anticipate what's going to happen next, and he does it. He's done it his whole career. As I like to call him, he's the Rolls Royce. No, he's an exceptional player, and it's great to have somebody like that out there playing for Ulster.
That would have been a better name for the insert, Rolls Royce Pinar. The scrummies tonight, as you've mentioned, really solid for Ulster.
Yeah, it's solid. It's just there's no strike there. I don't think Treviso are striking the ball, and it's just been sitting in there. You know, we talked beforehand about the pitch being a pretty good track. I think 40 minutes of rugby there, and the whole thing's cut up to pieces. It's just not getting back to the number 8.
Explain why no strike there. Is it the pressure on the ball?
Yeah, well, that could be a tactic that Treviso have went for, not to strike the ball and try and walk over it, then get the ball back to the number 8's feet. But I'm just not sure. I think the referee, needs to have a word with the guys at half time to get the ball in, get it away, because it's very, very frustrating. But I think in all of it, I think Ulster have got the upper hand, and that's what the most important thing is.
Yeah, and if they can build on that second half, Ryan, you feel that more opportunities will come.
Yeah, that last 20 minutes for Treviso must have been energy-sapping stuff. Those scrums alone, what that takes out of a front five must be immense. And Ulster pride themselves on their conditioning, and they'll hope that stands them in good stead as this game and the tempo increases, that they'll be able to capitalise on potentially some tight 5-forwards in the Treviso team.
Okay, Ryan, Stephen, thank you for the moment. Now, did you know that Ulster Rugby has opened 15 gyms recently across Northern Ireland? Nor did we until this week, when we joined Nick Williams and Dan Toohey on a visit to one of the gyms in the heart of West Belfast. The gyms are funded by the Department of Culture, Arts and Leisure, and the aim is to promote participation in rugby.
I think it's a tremendous project. We have nearly 20,000 young people on rugby programmes of 6 to 8 weeks who've never played rugby before. We have many tens of thousands of people now able to access gyms to a really high level who'd never had that opportunity before, and this is one of 15. This is what rugby's all about. We're here as a cause. There's 2.1 million people in the 9 counties of Ulster, and we have to be open to absolutely everybody. This is just one step on the way to that. For every gym we have, we train people, we get people qualified to run them, and they're getting jobs out of it. Our aim is to move people forward as best they can, first through sport, through exercise, but also through specific skills of coaching and of fitness, strength and conditioning.
Do it for light jog.
Okay then.
Yeah, it's extremely important, and hopefully it sets them on a pathway to a rugby career. I think if we can get sort of a lot more people in the province using gyms and rugby facilities and rugby coaches within Ulster, it only bodes well for rugby in Ulster, and hopefully a couple of people from here can come represent Ulster in the future.
Obviously I'm not a homegrown boy, but it's good to see places like this to give back to the community and try and expand the game of rugby, where probably traditionally it doesn't get played as much, so it should be good.
You can look around, it's absolutely beautiful, everything's brand new. I really love it. I know, like, being a young person, I've really struggled to get a job, so for me it's, it's my living. It's fantastic to have Ulster Rugby involved. They've been so supportive of us, and it's a new venture for everyone here, but with them coming in and helping us out, we've really achieved something.
Great initiative. Spreading the word about rugby like that can only be a good thing, can't it?
Yeah, it's great for rugby. What we see out here on Friday nights is the sharp end of it, the professional team, but there's a huge volunteer base behind it, huge amount of development, spreading the word of rugby across the province, and those sort of initiatives are going to help hopefully produce what we need homegrown out on the pitch here.
The one big question a lot of the Ulster rugby fans have been asking me over the last couple of weeks, how is Chris Henry? You've spent a lot of time with him this week, I know, on a Six Nations rugby tour. How's he getting on? Back to fitness slowly but surely?
Yeah, I think he's had a couple of holidays, more or less to try and take it all in. It's pretty hard, especially when you think something's just been taken away from you overnight. I know he's been away to Florida with his girlfriend and just kind of relaxed and take it all in, but he's back into hard training now. Speaking with Johnny Davis, the strength and conditioning coach at Ulster, he's doing very, very well. But I've been with him all week in the Ulster Bank Trophy Tour, and he has been in great form, very good spirits, and he's really looking forward to wearing an Ulster shirt again this season.
Yeah, great to see him back before the end of the season and hopefully on to the World Cup. If you're watching, Chris, we hope everything's going well with the recovery and the rehabilitation. Ryan, second half, more of the same for Ulster, at least the second part of that first half anyway, and try and build this score towards a bonus point.
Yeah, no doubt. If they can play with that sort of innovation that we saw, playing off the front foot, really bringing those strike runners into the game, set the platform up with Ruan Pinar and Ian Humphreys directing things. They've got the winning of this game, and hopefully if they can get an early score, they can build on that to get the tries they need.
It's about wearing Treviso down, Stephen, isn't it?
Well, I think they are actually pretty worn down at the minute after 40 minutes. So hopefully another quick try here would really help. And I'm so hoping for a 5-pointer here tonight.
Okay, well, the band's in full swing, the fans are in full voice. Let's rejoin our commentary team, Tony McWhirter and Jim Neely.
There's been a change at the interval on the Benetton Treviso side. Number 5, Cornel van Zyl, the Italian international, has left the field, and the Argentinian international, Tomás Vallejo, wearing number 19, has come on. No changes on the Ulster side, so the same starting 15 as Ian Humphreys is about to get the second half underway. 10-0 to Ulster at the interval.
Captain.
Try by Michael Allen, conversion and penalty
Time on Allen, please.
by Ruan Pina, who hit the post with one just before the interval. That's given us forward something to chase, and into touch.
Option green.
Directly, unfortunately for Ian Humphreys. That's another little unforced error. There was no need for that. He just overcooked it. Craig Gilroy thought he got a hand to it and kept it in touch. And Treviso have been offered the option of the restart. Ooh, that's interesting. No, I think it was in touch before anybody made contact. So not the start of the second half that Ulster wanted. First thoughts of the second half from a man who turned 40 last week. Many congrats, Tony. You had a good weekend in Rome with the family?
Yeah, what a great weekend, Jim. Super place to go for anybody out there that's looking for even the city to go, never mind just to watch rugby. But Ian Humphreys will be disappointed there. That's Stephen and Ryan talked about half-time in terms of accuracy, pace, and a little bit of variation. And certainly to have variation, you've got to keep the ball in play and do the basics well. And gives Treviso that start just to get back into the Ulster half, just like they've done in the first half. I think we'll probably see a kick from Carlisle here. And
well, 4 of the Treviso backs, including the outside half, Joe Carlisle are on the near side of the field, their left. Ulster getting a good squeeze on. What a good scrummage that is. And good work by Ruan Pina, but away come Treviso, picked up by the open side flanker Dean Budd. Lucchese, this is Carlisle. Nice little pass. That's a clever, not so clever kick, and straight into touch, and a bit of a tangle there between Lewis Stevenson and Joe Carlisle, and Ulster will get the line out. There was that little chip through, and it went straight into touch. Good challenging there by Craig Gilroy. 4-man Ulster line out now, 5 with Callum Black coming in. Oh, great take by Van der Merwe. Humphreys. That's nicely for Michael Allen to chase, but it's well gathered in by his opposite number, Ludovico Natalia, who's very quick. He may be 31, but there's still a lot of pace there. Dean Budd, well tackled. Lucchese, no way through for Batchen. Well, that all came from the poor restart kick, and the Italians have kept the ball just about ever since. Lucchese again, Carlisle, tight head prop. Rupert Harden, born in Australia but played a lot for Gloucester, was called up into the full England senior squad a couple of seasons ago. Lucchese again, this is Vallejo.
One right move.
Once again, a good start to the half by Treviso. Sam Christie trying to make some ground. Good work by Mike McComish. Carlisle will have to kick. Well covered by Gilroy, who's well used to the fullback position. And he's seen a wee bit of space, but that space is filled almost immediately by Ludo Natalia.
Stay.
Jaden Hayward. Easy for Humphreys. There is a big gap there. Oh, and he's miscued that completely. Just as well for him, it bounced because it would have gone directly into touch. There was a huge gap there, acres of it, and a fairly serious miscue by Ian Humphreys. Not that he did it deliberately, of course.
No, certainly not. But again, Jim, the option we say is Natalia, the Treviso right winger. He's in 35-40 metres there with 3 men outside him. Ulster, surely if they have some depth and communication from the wing, the pass is played and it's into open space. On that occasion, the kick's almost a harder option than the pass.
Well, if you compare this to the last time we were here on the old Steam radio, and also put in a stupendous performance to turn over the Leicester Tigers, there was a huge sense of urgency about that night, which we haven't really seen this evening. Taken on by Mayor Swanepoel. Lucchese, Hayward. Well, tackled by Rob Herring on halfway. Lucchese again. That's a better kick. That doesn't seem to have found touch. Gilroy has squeezed it down the touchline, taken quickly. That's pretty legal, that's okay. Here comes it, Jaden Hayward. Great tackle by Callum Black, and well ripped away by Rob Herring. Now there's a wee chance he has to give this. Maybe he won't need to. He did have 4 men outside him. Now Pinar, Humphreys, bit of acceleration. Darren Cave even more so. Well, that is a serious mix-up on the far side, and into touch it goes, and the referee has given the knock on. First of all, well, that was a chance on a goal plate for Ulster there.
Absolutely, and just a simple lack of communication between Darren Cave and Michael Allen on the left-hand touchline. Turnover affected. Herring takes it, spins, looks up, sees Harden, the Treviso tight head, runs round him and straightens, and perhaps the pass was on, but again, from Pinar to Humphreys, straight running, and the pass without looking, and maybe just that simple lack of communication and call, possibly outside from Michael Allen there. Another chance goes a begging.
Andrea Praticetti, capped by Italy on one occasion, has come on for Ludo Natalia, so one Italian international for another. Praticetti on, wearing 21. Straight swap, left wing for left wing. The crowd getting a wee bit more animated. There's still a lot more to come from this Ulster side. It's a game that they were expected to win. It's a game that they perhaps might have been expected to do just more than win in terms of a bonus point. But they have to get the ball back. 5 minutes gone, 10-0 as it was at the interval. Matteo Zanuso has played all 13 league games so far for Treviso this season, wearing that number 1 jersey. Good squeeze by Ulster. Impossible for David Guillazon to take his foot off the ground and strike for that ball. The referee's not going to put up with this much longer, is he? And then they do get the squeeze on. Better work by Treviso. He's going to ask them to do it again. Things cutting up there. The ground staff at Ravenhill will be very unhappy. A lot of the rain came down this afternoon in torrents, so the surface water has just stayed, hasn't really sunk through yet, Tony.
No, it has, and that makes underfoot conditions, specifically if that's not re-flattened, Jim, very dangerous. But the scrumming situation is becoming a bit of a farce, really, isn't it? With the ball sitting in the tunnel and neither side having the ability to drive each other off the ball. But surely you feel that the emphasis should be on Treviso giving it their put to actually either drive or strike for the ball to get it back. If they're unable to, should the scrum be allowed to be collapsed and go to ground and it starts again? Or should there be some sort of divisive intervention taken by the referee, either in terms of penalty or free kick, or giving Ulster the put in perhaps?
Come on, guys, let's go.
Well, I think Ian Davis is the man to answer all of those questions. Clock starts again. 6.5 minutes played in the second half. Ulster still 10-0 to the good. Remember, as we mentioned before, this is one of 6 successive games Ulster have against teams below them in the league table, and they really have to win all of them, whether they're at home or whether they're away, before a very tough run in. The last of the teams below them is Connacht, whom Ulster have to travel to, and then Leinster at home, Munster at home, and Glasgow away. Back on the Ulster side from the Treviso scrum, here's Humphreys. Back inside to Cave. Well tackled by Bud, but there's a penalty going to be given, and I think it's going to be given in Ulster's favour on the far side.
Yeah. 3 up, 8 detached.
Treviso's tight head Rupert Harden came up, and number 8 Matt Laumano, according to the referee, got himself detached. So Ulster have the penalty, and they're going to go for the corner, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that tackle from Bud just looked worse than it was. He's grappled Cave, and Darren actually does quite well to twist himself to get himself to ground rather than getting his lead leg chopped underneath him. But slowly but surely the pressure at the scrum time was starting to bear. Ulster just starting to get the edge there.
If Ulster can conjure a try out of this particular position, Neil Duck will be a lot happier. Well taken in. Round the front they go. Here comes Rob Herring looking for a second league try. Callum Black leaves it. Well taken by Vian Herbst. Has he made it available? Or have the Treviso turned over? Yes, they have. Well, that was poor work by the tight head prop, and you wouldn't expect that. And all the way back goes Mike Allen and leaves it for Louis Ludick. Now it's Allen. Foot on the gas. Taken round the neck, but the referee happy with that. Ulster need the ball quickly. Now they have it. Pienaar, Roger Wilson in the outside half position. Does well. Pienaar again. This is out Van der Merwe. Little chip. That's nicely done. Here goes Gilroy. Well, that was one of the poorest passes he's probably ever delivered, and he's going to come across and apologise to Luke Marshall, because that was another try that really should have been scored by Ulster. You thought Pienaar or Gilroy might have had a wee go on his own, but he decided quite rightly to pass, and the pass just wasn't good enough.
Potentially, I think Luke Marshall's actually overran him to start with, Jim. From where we're sitting, Marshall's actually calling and pointing him behind. I think he wanted the kick to actually flat foot the fullback so he could run onto it and flop on it over the line. Gilroy either didn't see that or didn't perceive that and decided then the pass was on, but at that stage Luke Marshall was too flat. Gilroy having to stop and then pass off his so-called his less dominant hand, that left hand, and it was a pretty shocking pass if the truth be told.
Well, it took a long time before Ulster got their first try, or their only try thus far. A nice piece of footwork by Michael Allen. Nice fade on the pass by Ian Humphreys. And Michael Allen, who with so much talent on the wing, the unfortunate Andrew Trimble, and we hear that, of course, during the week that he's had a recurrence of a nasty toe injury and is going to miss the rest of the season. And, of course, Gilroy's there and Tommy Bowe's there. So Michael Allen doesn't get a lot of game time.
And 16.
A couple of changes in the front row for Treviso. They're taking off their tight head prop, Rupert Harden, I think. No, it's not Rupert Harden. It's number 17 is coming in, so it must be Matteo Zanuso, 17 being the loose head prop replacement. And Jose Novak from the Czech Republic is coming on. And Alberto Anai, the Wellingtonian from New Zealand, is coming on.
Scrums have been good until now, okay? Let's keep that way, okay?
Referee Ian Davis is just saying to the new men that the scrums have been fine up until now, so we don't want any old nonsense. And that looks like Robbie Dyack getting himself warmed up. Hard to tell just from this angle.
I think you're right, Jim. It's Robbie Dyack just stretching off the back, and certainly those two Treviso front row forwards won't be giving away much in terms of weight. They look almost bigger than the two chaps that they've replaced.
Well, there's a chap on the bench for France tomorrow against Ireland in Dublin who's more than 24 stones, and I have a funny feeling he might be the heaviest chap ever to play in the Six Nations. Well, the referee said he didn't want any nonsense, and immediately the new loose head of Treviso went down under pressure from Vian Herbst, and this has given Ulster the penalty. And Ruan Pienaar did not even look at the post, to the delight, I'm sure, of the crowd. And he needs to find his touch, and he has found his touch. It is a belter, and Ulster now have a 5-metre line out. And surely, with nearly 10 minutes gone in the second half, the crowd are going to get what they've been demanding.
Well, the rolling maul's been a virtuoso try-scoring weapon for Ulster this year. Rob Herring hooking tonight rather than Rory Best. They'll be looking for something simple, catch and a drive. Plenty of bodies in.
Well, plenty of line-out options there. Van der Merwe. But they get it to Lewis Stevenson, as well taken in. Now he's got support from the rest of his forwards. Here goes the Ulster rumble. tucked into the back by Nick Williams, sucks down round the ankles, but that's good work by Treviso. But Ulster still going. It's all a little bit messy. It may have to come back and go through the hands again, and another penalty given for going in at the side against Treviso.
6, swimming around the side.
Mayor Swanepoel, born in South Africa as well. And again, Pienaar just going to go into the corner. Roger Wilson has called his Ulster forwards in, and he's having a wee word to them. So it's all about getting the call right and getting the catch and getting the drive. They couldn't do it the first time. Can they do it the second time? Robbie Dyack and Stuart McCluskey, who's been out for such a long time with a rather nasty elbow injury, about to come on. That's gone long. What a great take by Van der Merwe. That gives them a wee bit more room at the back. Treviso forwards well up for it though. Mike McCormick, who got a couple of tries against Toulon, has it. Ball has gone to ground and he's thrown it away, and that really was another chance gone begging. There's probably 3 tries Ulster have left behind them. You've got to give Treviso full marks for defence in that difficult situation, and that hasn't found touch. Well taken by Ludic. McComish. Good pass by McComish. Now it's Michael Allen. Score of the first try. The only try so far. Good stuff by Allen. Stevenson needs to give it. Pavanello gets in the way. Pienaar. Humphreys. Misses out Wilson. Here's McComish. To no one in particular. Well scooped up by Humphreys. That's nicely done. It's Marshall. Louis Ludic. Hauled down 6 or 7 metres short. Pienaar gets in quickly. Now it's McComish again. He's got support from Wilson and from Callum Black. Surely this time. Pienaar back inside. In goes Herbst. Pienaar, Humphreys, nicely done. Good floated pass. Allen. That's gone loose. Stevenson dives. Has he got his first Ulster try? Yes, he has. They're going to go upstairs to check the grounding, but Lewis Stevenson will just have to contain himself a wee bit longer.
Things I wanted to look for here.
It was a bit of a fumbly effort, but he may just have got there.
From Green. Can you check before that if there's obstruction? And then whether White collecting the ball was in offside position, please.
Okay. Right.
Well, Ian Davis is going up to the TMO, Alan Rogan, and he's asked about 27 things of him. I'm not sure how they're going to work out what's gone wrong or what's gone right.
I think the main thing Jim that he's looking for is the position of Marshall and Lewis Stevenson at the end. The pass that comes out from, I think it was Michael Allen, gets slapped to ground, and then it comes off a leg. I don't think there's a knock on as such, and the grounding looks okay. You see Allen with the ball here. There's a Treviso hand comes in, knocks it down.
There's nothing
Lewis
wrong with that.
Potentially is in front of the ball there. But I think he's put back onside by Luke Marshall.
Marshall ran past him. Just be a try.
Just sufficiently to put him back onside.
It's a one-handed deliberate knockdown from 4. Okay, there is a defender in the way, so I don't believe there's a penalty try. However, I do believe it's a penalty against 4 Green on a yellow card.
Well, they're going to give a yellow card, I think, no matter what happens against Antonio Pavanello, the skipper. Alan Rogan's going to have another look at it. He's going to put it up on the screen for Ian Davis to have a look at it. Definitely there was a hand in. The referee seems to think it was deliberate. Now, that looks as if Luke Marshall has put Lewis Stevenson onside, and the grounding was fine, and that should be a try.
It's a yellow card.
Pavanello's gone to the bin.
No.
And they haven't given the try. Well.
Sorry, Alan, is it around the 15-metre line?
It's 20 metres in, about 8 metres out from the line.
Well, was that deliberate?
Yeah, 20 metres in.
Was that an
8 metres
offside?
out from the line.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think Luke Marshall put him onside. So Ulster, knowing that the Italians are missing their skipper and second row forward, are going to go for yet another 5-metre line out.
I think Lewis has that feeling, Jim, it might not be his night with the try scoring, and I think on reflection later on, if the referee has a look at that, I think he's called the initial incident and then really hasn't let it run through and looked at it in the wider picture. Lewis actually did quite well just to hang off and almost let Marshall put him back on as well, but for me, like you, I think that was a try. If he just let it run out, I think he made his decision too quickly. Yes, there was a deliberate knockdown. Yes, it was a yellow card, but if he had let the advantage occur and run it through to the end of the tape, for me, that was a score.
Luke Marshall makes way for Stuart McCluskey, who missed 7 games in a row because of a very badly dislocated elbow, and Robbie Dyack, who was the only replacement in Italy last weekend who didn't get a game for Ireland. Well taken into the line-out. Mike McCormick's trying to make a little bit of ground. Dean Budd slow to react. Still there for Ulster. Nearly 13 minutes played in the second half. Pinar, Van der Merwe. Good work by Robbie Dyack. Humphreys. Gilroy. Well tackled. McCormick's in quickly. Referee telling the Italian centre to get off his feet. Still there for Ulster. Surely he's lying. No, referee says rolling away. Roger Wilson. Humphreys managed to retrieve it. Ludick. Tackled by Carlisle. Now Pinar again. Dyack just on the park. Troy claiming there was a high tackle there. And Ulster give away the penalty, hanging onto the ball in the tackle.
He's on his feet, entitled to play. No, he's on his feet.
The Italian defender on his feet and supporting his weight, and Ulster hanging on and give away the penalty. That's all Ulster.
It is all Ulster, Jim. There's just a lack of accuracy in there. I think most frustratingly probably from Ulster the catch and drive of efficiency at the line out. There's been 3 or 4. None of them have really come close. Treviso have defended very well, sacking the initial bit, scrapping round the sides. And what they have done well is stay on their feet at contact. They've been happy not to commit, but whenever it's been the right time to go in, they've stepped through the middle, got hands on the ball, and Ulster have not been effective at cleaning them out.
And aware the ball was there. Right? There's not a lot I can do, but he's gone in the right direction for me.
Well, the referee's having a little word with Roger Wilson, explaining exactly why he gave that penalty. But all that Ulster pressure at the start of the second half has come to nothing. And a bit like the first half when Ulster couldn't get out of their own 10-metre area, it's been the same for Benetton Treviso. But they've weathered all that pressure.
Okay, time on.
New hooker Albert Anai. That was some red carded earlier this season against Glasgow. Good challenge by Lewis Stevenson. I really do think he should have been awarded his first ever Ulster try, but it hasn't happened. Lucchese. Gilroy gathers. Roger Wilson does a bit of clearing out. Pinar thought about the pass to Humphreys, but he's brought that in field now. He needs someone to chase that. Well covered by Matt Lomano. Carlisle goes for position. Back goes Michael Allen.
It's inside. Right.
Humphreys, nicely done. That's what he does best. And he's still going. Surely the Treviso player came in from the wrong side there. Ludick up to the Ulster 10-metre line. Pinar in quickly. McComish. They miss out Herbst. Humphreys, well taken. Dyack, nicely done. That's not a bad kick by Craig Gilroy. There's a fair bit of space there. This could be interesting. Oh, he's made a mess of it. Oh, he couldn't keep his feet, Gilroy. And he's kicked it dead. And it's going to be a 22 dropout. Well, what does Craig Gilroy have to do to score on this, the occasion of his 100th Ulster appearance? He's done just about everything except score.
It's a great kick and a great chase. The fumble, he just catches his foot, doesn't he? And unable just to retrieve the feet from underneath him. You see the kick going through. I think it potentially is maybe just a hand tap there from the Treviso man. And the ball goes dead, and again Gilroy left wondering, as you say, Jim, what he has to do.
Well, he's certainly bursting with enthusiasm, isn't he? I mean, he really, his effort couldn't be faulted.
Certainly not, and one of the best parts of his game is the kick chase. He just runs and runs and runs until there's nothing left in the tank.
Humphreys. He's given that a very delicate little probe.
Both airbound, both
knocked
in the
back.
air.
Now it's Gilroy. He's hacked it on. This could be interesting. Hayward goes back. Gilroy over the top. In quickly is Robbie Dyack. He's trying to hold the man off the ground to force the scrummage. Back on the Treviso side. Oh, they needed to make the tackle. That's gone loose. Humphreys, Ludick. Surely there must be men wide. Well, they had to check. They're overrunning. McCluskey's outside Allen. This is McCluskey. Straight back on, looking for his first try. All the pressure coming from Ulster. Referees giving the penalty. That must be a yellow card, surely, if he's slowing it down. Yes, it is. That's the second yellow card, and it's the replacement of the Argentinian.
One of the two of you will go in.
Tomas Bajejo is gone off.
Scrum.
And also taking the scrum because they don't have any second rows.
The space is definitely there. It's quite obvious that Treviso weight are tiring. And space knows wide out channels, and again what Ulster now have to try and do with the ball is to use the ball, width and pass, keeping depth. Again, it's Michael Allen calling McCluskey inside. McCluskey fending 1, 2, 3, staying big, leg drive, and now it's over the ball. But it's just that clarity of ball on the ground, Jim. It's just not clean enough for Pinar to be able to move it away quickly, giving what's left of the Treviso defence just a chance to reset. Quicker ball, catches them in a position where they can't realign, can't number up, and can't get off the line. And at the minute, the ball's just not quick enough and not clean enough.
There's been a replacement in the number 9 jersey for Treviso. Alberto Lucchesi has gone off the field, and the Fijian international Henry Seniloli has come on. There's Seniloli. Well, Treviso are going to have to rearrange their scrummage. I think they're going to have to pull a couple of backs in somewhere. They've got a centre playing on the open side of the flank, and they're going to have to move somebody into the second row.
Seconds in.
Now, having failed from 3 or 4 set pieces, mainly 5-metre lineouts, can Ulster score from a perfectly positioned 5-metre scrum?
Again, also have an extra man in the backs if they look to come to the open side of the pitch.
Penalty given. Now will Ulster go for the penalty try, one wonders. Going down on one knee, the Treviso loose head replacement, Jose Novak, 24-year-old from the Czech Republic. Andrea Protochetti has moved into the centre. They are very light in terms of numbers out wide.
Roger, watch the slingshot. Down, not slingshot.
Referee telling Roger Wilson not to do what they call the slingshot, which is whipping the scrum round.
Cut in. If you want to change him, it's up to you. Okay, that's fine. We've had 50 minutes where nothing has happened in the scrums, okay? You two have come on, and now all the problems are starting. It's quite easy where the problem lies.
Well, the referee's pointing the finger very firmly at the 2 front row replacements from Treviso. And I had Novak, she's saying we've had 50 minutes without a single problem in the scrum. And now you two Egypts have come on and look at it. It's the shambles. Maybe he didn't say the word Egypts, forgive me, chaps. Coming up to the end of the third quarter, and Ulster, despite all their efforts, have not added to the scoreline. Surely this time. Pinar. Well, Treviso have dug in well despite the lack of numbers. Surely Ulster aren't going to make a mess of this. Oh, that's better. There they go. Wilson controlling. Wilson is still controlling. Ulster going for the shove. Wilson. And the try. It's a penalty try. Referee's seen enough. Deliberately collapsed by a struggling Benetton Treviso. 2 second rows in the bend. And Ulster, Roger Wilson might have got that one, but the referee had blown the whistle for the penalty try before Ulster's skipper got time to get the hands of it. Great bit of scrummaging there from Vian Herbst.
Yeah, very much so, and Ulster just gaining that upper hand. The arm wrestle of the first half has now become Ulster have just gone for the over-the-top position of slamming the Treviso hand into the ground. A great scrummaging position here. Again, you see Herbst managing to keep himself straight, fighting to stay straight. Roger controlling at the back. And Treviso happy, their back row's broken off and come round the corner, and they've stopped what was a clear forward scoring opportunity for Roger Wilson.
Well, that'll be the pictures that'll make the papers tomorrow. In the meantime, Ruan Pinar, having been off the post just before half-time with a penalty, adds the extras, and Ulster, as we go into the 4th and final quarter, Now leading by 17 points to nil. That somebody had to come. They had to get a score there.
It had to. Treviso were down to 13 men, and the law of averages says that if you're one man down, it's the value of 7 points. With 2 men in the bin, you should be looking at more than that. And what Ulster now have to do is to keep the ball in play, use the full width of the pitch.
The clock. They'll turn it off every time you slow. I'm not sure. Time on, please, Alan.
Restart by Joe Carlisle. Roger Wilson. Doing a Nick Williams on a bit more. Pienaar. Dyack. Humphreys. Thought about giving it. Maybe should have given it. He had McComish outside him. Also don't want to lose this one. Well, Matt Laumano came all the way through there. Taken on by Callum Black. Pienaar. Jaden Hayward comes in. Bit of obstruction there, it would seem. Ball has gone loose. Can Ulster claim it? They can. But it was knocked forward, I think, by Michael Allen in the process. Still a wee lack of accuracy about Ulster's play, isn't there?
Yeah, very much so. Good kick from Pienaar, but a poor chase. But again, Jim, surely the option with 2 men, having the advantage of 2 extra men, having won the ball, let's move it, keep it in hands, keep moving this tired and tiring defence about, and the space will come. Gilroy and Michael Allen looking extremely sharp on either wing. They're crying out for chances for ball in hand, and rather than simply kicking the ball back to the opposition, who are looking to slow it down and waste as much time as possible, hold on to possession, use the ball effectively and use the time effectively.
Well, the Italian skipper has come back on, Antonio Pavanello, having served his 10 minutes in the bin, and they replaced the tight head prop, Rupert Harden, with number 20. Man born in Sydney some 24 years ago, Salesi Manu, who's a 20 stoner.
Bind! Set!
Senaloli, Fijian scrum half. More and more Pacific Islanders playing their professional trade in Europe.
There's the mark. I appreciate you've come on, okay, you're eager to get involved, but let's just control the engagement, please. Come up, Ben Green.
Well, 23 minutes played in the second half, 17-0 Ulster. Still a bit to go in terms of securing what would be a very precious try bonus point.
Crouch!
Fian Herbst.
Bind! Set!
On the Ulster tight head side. Getting better as the season is worn on in terms of the scrummaging. Needs to be maybe a wee bit more dynamic around the park, but that'll come. That's a better Treviso scrum than their own put in. Referee will be happy with that. No sign of it collapsing. Senaloli gets it away. That's going to be straight into the arms of Louis Ludic. Well, that's a good kick. Taken outside the 22, so Carlisle, who covered well, will have to play it down back into Ulster hands. Ian Humphreys. Darren Cave saying go and find the space somewhere. And that's not a bad kick by Humphreys. There's plenty of men underneath that. Oh, well taken in by Hayward. Little chance now for Treviso. Van der Merwe put in a very good tackle there. Likewise, Lewis Stevenson, who's in the middle of all that. That might just be a turnover. No, it's not. Senaloli. Carlisle has to stretch. Saw there was no way outside him. And runs into Wilson. Senaloli again. It's all a bit slow. Back on the park is Pavanello, who was binned for 10 minutes. An overlap. Good tackle by Roman Pienaar covering across. Senaloli again. Hayward managed to catch that. That looked a bit forward. Senaloli again. This is better stuff from Treviso. Robbie Dyack comes all the way back. And all of a sudden Treviso now on the front foot. Hayward. Wonderful covering tackle by Ulster and by Rob Herring. Darren Cave told to get away. He'd be lucky if he doesn't get binned for this one. Taken on by Swanepoel. Senaloli. It's all a bit in the slow side. There's the enormous Salesi Manu. Well tackled by Lewis Stevenson.
Slow the ball down.
Darren Kidd Darren, he's the photographer. We saw Darren Cave slowing the ball down. I think Darren Kidd will be in the middle of all that somehow, much as he'd probably like to. Take some great photographs, but from a safe distance. Well, that was the tackle. What are they going to do here? Are they going to go for the 3 points? Well, I think they are, you know. Does that surprise you, Tony?
It does a little bit, but I can't really see Treviso getting back into the game, Jim. And Seniloli's brought an awful lot of pace, vim and vigour to their side. 3-4 offloads in a row there, going through. Quick ruck ball. Bring a little bit of invention, which we haven't really seen much from Treviso. It's been quite turgid. You know, there's been an awful lot of kicking, very little ball and hand play, and certainly on that occasion they put together a super passage of play. As we've talked about, the offloads, men running from deep. Great to see.
So Joe Carlisle, left-footed, no mistake. Treviso on the board, Ulster leading, but it's down to 14 points. Ulster 17 and Treviso 3. And Andrew Warwick has come on for Callum Black. Humphreys, better restart. Gilroy did well. Tackled by Pratichetti. Wide pass. Humphreys again. Now it's McCluskey. Desperate to get back into playing again after that 7-match spell out of action. Pienaar. Herbst.
Tackle, release.
Tackled by the replacement. Humphreys. Inside to Michael Allen. Score of Ulster's first try. Pienaar again. McCluskey does well. Appetite is nicely sharp, and here's Roger Wilson.
Tackle 18, release 1.
Pienaar. Flat defence. Now it's going to be tough for Ulster to break down Herbst. There's a wee chance here if they can move this. Dyack. He's got Cave outside him. He should have given that. Still there though for Ulster. Pienaar thought about the narrow side. Humphreys, nicely taken. Herring, Stevenson gets it away to Gilroy. McCluskey, is he strong enough? Yes, he is. Third try for Ulster. Referee looks at the touch judge, who nods. And McCluskey, welcome back Stuart McCluskey, and welcome back with a try.
Very much so. Great finish from the big man, and I think for one, Robbie Dyack will be a happy man, Jim, after sort of butchering that 2-on-1 down the left-hand touchline. But again, we talked about the width, we talked about the patience, we talked about that clean and effective breakdown, increasing the pace of Ulster around at ruck time. And we see Herring here offloads. Stevenson takes and rides the tackle very well. Gilroy with the pass. McCluskey, one arm, big fend in the corner.
Well, if Gilroy can't score the tries, he's happy to set them up. Nicely floated pass, and McCluskey needed all that immense strength of his in that young frame. Remember, he's only 22 years of age. Try number 3 for Ulster, and there is time for a fourth, but we should just have to wait and see. Let's get the conversion out of the way first. Thomas Faheyo has come back on. So Treviso back up to 15 men, and another replacement about to come on. James Ambrosini is going to come on to play outside half. Pretty tight angle for Ruan Pienaar. That's going to come in beautifully by the South African. What a conversion by Pienaar. So Ulster leading now by 24 points to 3, and just over 10 minutes remaining.
Very important in the last 10 minutes that Ulster play with a pattern. It's all well and good going for the try, throwing the ball about willy-nilly, but that's not going to bring the score. They have to plot their way back into this Treviso half and execute accurately.
Peter Nelson has come on for Ulster. Louis Ludick has gone off. Taken in by Jaden Hayward, the Treviso fullback. Put a bit too much in that. Oh, and he's put that straight into touch. A tired kick.
It is, but the first thing he's done wrong. He's been very strong tonight under the high ball. Tackled exceptionally well. and taking it to Nick Williams on more than one occasion, and sometimes you don't see forwards do that, never mind outside backs.
Andrew Warwick has taken over the role of communicating where the line-out throws to go. Pienaar. Humphreys a bit static, that's all right. McCluskey, anything but static. He's got away, the big Phillip. He's got Gilroy outside him. It's into McComish. Change of direction by McComish. Also looking for the bonus point. Pienaar. Herring. Dyack outside him. Herring still going. He's pretty close. A metre away. Ulster looking to close this game out with a bonus point victory. Stevenson still looking for his first Ulster try. Pienaar, now the crowd get behind the side. McComish. Pienaar. Humphreys. Gilroy. Doing everything but score. Van der Merwe. What a spiral. Still got it. A Treviso body in the way. Herbst winkles it out. He's driving forward. Another man looking for a first try, and he's left it behind. And Ulster may just have recovered it. I thought they'd lost it. Pienaar. McComish. Gilroy. Shirley. Gilroy. What a score! 100 caps. And he's scored his 21st league try and his 26th overall. It took a long time, but it was worth the wait.
Absolutely, he's played his socks off tonight, hasn't he? You never see a smile off his face. But again, Jim, bit of a rap to Michael McComish there. Okay. Initially involved off Stuart McCluskey break. Classic open side play on the shoulder from the big centre. Again, making the pass, getting involved. Ulster happy to rotate. It's him at first receiver. Here you see him take it in. Don't quite see him take it in, but again, gets the ball. Beautiful pass. He's a man that's played in the backspin, you can tell that as well, and showing Craig Gilroy how to execute a pass off the left hand. And in this occasion, it's Gilroy that benefits from it. Yeah, well, it's that time of the year when thoughts turn to the Ulster Schools Cup final. Mike McComish played for Campbell College many years ago as a 15-year-old in the outside half position before he decided to move into number 8. He's waited for a year and a half, 2 years really to get his chance, and certainly the last 3-4 games that he started for Ulster, he's left nothing out there. He's been magnificent in each of those performances, and again backing it up this evening. Well, after all that excitement, the crowd have gone quiet. As he brought it in again, not quite. Not quite. So 29-3 for Ulster. VN Herbst is going off, and Ulster bringing on a whole raft of replacements. Yeah. Paul Marshall coming on. 10, it looks 6, like 3 and 2. John Andrew 6. coming on as hooker. 10, Bronson Ross coming on, 3. And Clive Ross, no relation, coming on as well. It seems. Well, he has been a pretty good buy for Ulster. This young, very solid tight head prop.
Are all done, Stu? Freeze in the dugout, Stu. Yeah, all done? Yeah, time back on, please.
Long restart kick. Paul Marshall, one of Ulster's replacements. Straight down to his opposite number, Henry Senaloli. Jaden Hayward going nowhere except into the opening arms, or the welcoming arms of Bronson Ross. That's out. Pavanello. Senaloli, quick pass. Ambrosini at outside half. Referee's called a maul, and if it stops, then Ulster will get the put into the scrum, but they want it even better. Dyack. He does give this one. Here's Allen. That's a clever kick by Allen. Cave and Allen on the charge. That's gone loose. Also looking for try number 5.
Hands away, 19.
Treviso have done very well to get themselves back and to make that ball reasonably secure. Senaloli decides to have a boot himself. Has he found his touch? Yes, he has. And Pienaar, who's on the parking set. Ian Humphries has gone off, so one presumes he'd be playing in the outside half position.
Yeah, Ulster have emptied the bench completely, and big hand for Roger Wilson tonight again, Jim. He's, just gets better and better with age. Led from the front this evening, playing blindside wing forward rather than the custom number 8. Carried the ball very effectively, constantly breaking the gain line. Defensively sound as always, and again playing his heart out for this side.
John Andrew.
Okay, time back on, Alan, please.
Playing just his third game as a replacement. Well, that was a bit naughty there, the Ulster physio. Gareth Robinson nudging over for Sparky. Paul Marshall, good pass. Pienaar, Cave. Marshall, good switch. Andrew, nicely done. Oh, Nelson straight through. Needs to give it. It's going to be a try for Andrew Warwick, the prop forward. Oh, it was an extra special roar when one of the front row union gets across the line. And he hit that line like a thunderbolt, and there's not a centre in the world could have taken it as well, and there's nobody will have got as much pleasure.
The big licence is his nickname, Jim, and he drove that in from 10 yards out. But again, lovely set-piece play, midfield strike. Marshall takes it going down the blind side, and again, where you want to see every aspiring young prop forward to be. Great bust by Peter Nelson, again, ball in two hands, and Andrew Warwick, in fairness, it was probably more like 20 yards rather than 10. It'll be 50 by the time he's finished, but again, you can see what his teammates thought of that, the way they flocked to him.
Yeah, Clive Roth saying go under the post. He didn't need to tell him twice, and he did just that. And he was in more danger of being swamped by his own players than he was by the opposition. But it was a perfect line by the redhead full-back replacement Peter Nelson. And the sturdy little prop from Ballymena scampered over like a spring lamb.
This is the point that Stephen Ferris talked about before the match in terms of where the Ulster performance goes to. You look for the win, then you look for the bonus point, but then potentially you look to bag a few more points and get that points differential built up.
Well, 36-3 and still about 3 minutes or so to go. Craig Gilroy. What a career he's had, and what a career is still in front of him, and he's intercepted it, and he's going to get a second, Gilroy. The icing and the cherry and the cream on the cake for the man winning his 100th cap. He was so close in the first half, and that's more than made up for it. What a night for Gilroy. 2 tries, 100 caps.
Read it perfectly. He's always there. One thing that himself and Andrew Trimble do it very well, Jim, is looking for that intercept pass from the right-hand wing position. They have to pace the burn, that if they get beaten, they can always recant and come back and possibly catch their man. But Gilroy read that a mile off, and this time able to hang on to it, go round, slot it under the posts.
Well, he has been involved in just about everything. It wasn't the worst pass in the world, but Gilroy read it, and there was nobody was ever going to get close to him. And Ruan Pienaar has added the extras, and there's 40 points between these sides now. Well, applause all round for Craig Gilroy. He's thoroughly deserved that. He's played out of his socks. He's chased everything all evening, and he's got his just reward. No wonder he's puffing.
I think he'd like a third as well.
Well, Darren Cave did it last time we were here at Ravenhill against the Leicester Tigers. Robbie Dyack up to the 22. Now they sing. Paul Marshall, Pienaar, Cave gets it away nicely. Nelson, who's looked good. Michael Allen. Oh, Mike McCombs just couldn't quite gather. Knocked into touch, and the visitors will have the option of the scrummage or the line-out. Italian player down, injured it seems. Just over a minute to go. And should we have doubted?
White step off.
No, I don't think so. I think certainly the win was always going to come. Secondly, then you look for the four tries. The second half performance has been very, very good. I think if you're being hypercritical, the one thing that maybe you would say is that the line-out play and the driving line-out has been not as good as we've expected, or not as good as it's been earlier on in the season. But taking their chances is all we've asked for, and they've nailed more or less everything that's come their way in the second half.
Sam Christie took it on. Senaloli, that's been knocked forward. Oh, well won on the ground by Ulster. Dyack at scrum half. McCluskey might have played that. He's got it back in his hands again. Good support from Robbie Dyack yet again. Paul Marshall, Ruan Pinar at 10. They miss out Bronson Ross. Warwick gets it away to Van der Merwe. Nelson.
Advantage green, knock on white.
Just spilled forward.
Advantage green.
10 or 15 seconds remaining, so Ulster will just have to be content with 6 tries, which needless to say they would have settled for. Referee blows the whistle, just a few seconds remaining.
Scrum.
Is there time for the scrum?
Green.
Just about. Well, we're now into red time, as you can see by the clock, and having been 10-0 up, and they waited 18 minutes in the first half to get their first points, and then they waited for another 20 minutes to get their next points in the second half, so there was little fallow periods there, but when they did play, Ulster played well.
Yeah, they have. They've huffed and they've puffed, and they've eventually blown the house down. And credit to Treviso as well, Jim. You know, they've come with a very limited game plan in terms of what they've tried to do, but they've tackled manfully, and really it was only until those 2 gentlemen went in the sin bin in the second half that the spaces started to appear. Ulster had the wisdom and the wit at that stage to put a bit of width on the game and to stretch it, and from there they haven't looked back.
Crouch!
Well, he's struggling quite badly, Enrico Bachin.
Bind!
Last set piece of the game, you would think. Big round of applause as the man of the match award has been announced, and the recipient is going to be Craig Gilroy.
Sit down, 16.
Final scrum, Robbie Dack told to stay down, picked up by Treviso. Senalili. McCluskey trying to hold it up, well played by Ambrosini, the replacement.
More!
Treviso still going forward. Lewis Stevenson has done a good job. Denied his first ever Ulster try, and the referee says that's it all over. 10-0 to Ulster at half-time. A try by Michael Allen. 5 more tries in the second half. 2 by Craig Gilroy, the man of the match, celebrating his 100th cap. In the end, Ulster romped home and have given themselves a decent platform on which to build for a tough run-in. Final score here at Ravenhill. Ulster have won this one with a bonus point victory. It's Ulster 43 and Benetton Treviso 3.
Well, at times it certainly wasn't pretty. It probably took Ulster a lot longer to wear the visitors down this evening than they thought, but in the end, Ryan Constable, Stephen Ferris, a good bonus point win for the home team.
Yeah, very, very clinical in the second half, and very accurate in everything that they done as well, but they just wore them down. You know, kicked to the corner a couple of times in the second half, which I know you didn't agree with at the time, but the boys got over the line. A great scrum as well. You have to give a lot of credit to the front row, and that was kind of a turning point in the game. Once they got a couple of scores ahead, you know, Treviso's heads dropped and Ulster just kicked on. Sometimes it's about building the score, but a bonus point victory was absolutely key tonight, because it could be crucial when it comes to those playoff places, Ryan.
Yeah, that top 5 is going to change over the next coming months until we get some clarity in those last few games. And when you get the opportunity against opposition that are down the numbers they are in conditions like this, Ulster needed to get maximum return from that. They've done that. They'll be very satisfied. They had to work hard in periods, but when the floodgates opened, they made the most of it, created plenty of opportunities and finished enough of them to get their end game.
And Craig Gilroy, the youngest Ulsterman to ever reach 100 caps, a justified man of the match tonight. Yeah, you know, we're kind of hemming and hawing over who to pick around the 60-minute mark, but Craig just showed his class, his international class there in the last 20 minutes. A couple of really good individual spots as well when he picked off that intercept, but you know, he's a class act. One thing I know Joe Smith likes is the kick chase. You know, every winger that he picks, he likes a good kick chaser. And one thing that Craig done all night was hounded his opposition wingers and chased everything all night, and it paid dividends in the end. Will he go to the World Cup, do you think, Ryan, with Ireland?
I think it's too early to say for anyone. There's very few that are absolutely guaranteed their spot, and there's a lot of talent, and these games are important, and as the season progresses, those end of season games will very much shape his squad coming in, but you can't do a lot more than what he did tonight. Huge involvement, created a lot of opportunities, and ultimately got the rewards at the end for finishing those.
Patience was definitely the key this evening, and Ulster ran their tries in superbly.
They did. It was fantastic to see. I actually went outside of the studio to soak up a bit of the atmosphere, and it was brilliant. You know, the crowd really got behind them in the second half, and you know, they kept the ball alive, which was great to see as well. You know, Stuart McCluskey come on and made an immediate impact. You see Pete Nelson coming from deep here. you know, and the big license, as everybody calls him, on the outside. And I suppose he's seen the white line coming a bit earlier than I expected. But no, that's another good team try, but that's straight off the training pitch right there. And it was just really good to see.
And probably, Ryan, and briefly, key for Ulster tonight, when things weren't going their way on the scoreboard, they were able to just stay very, very patient and calm right to the end.
There's passages of play where you don't get that dominance, you don't get the possession or the quality of possession you want, and you have to work through those. When they get the opportunities, you score the tries.
Okay, Ryan, Stephen, thank you very much indeed. Next up for Ulster is an away trip to Scotland. It's Edinburgh against Ulster next Friday night. You can see that game live on BBC Two from 7:30. After tonight's win, the Ulster fans no doubt will be feeling the love for the Ulster team on this Valentine's weekend. And on a romantic theme, Dan Toohey has picked our end music tonight. It's Wishing Well by Terence Trent D'Arby. I know we all knew all along Dan is a big softie. We'll see you next week from all of us.